We are finally seeing some signs that the government, or at least part of it, is starting to crack down on banks that caused the mortgage crisis and are still profiting off of it now. Now, over the last few weeks, New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman has reportedly opened a probe and requested information from Wall Street banks about their mortgage securities operations during the credit boom. He specifically requested meetings with representatives from Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, and Morgan Stanley. The investigation has not yet been made public, but Monday, a source close to the investigation revealed that the probe is being expanded to include JP Morgan Chase, UBS, UBS has nothing to do with this, and Deutsche Bank. All right, you go get him, Eric. The inquiry appears to be quite broad. Schneiderman has requested mortgage-related documents and could be looking into fraud. God bless his heart. Now, can he pull off this investigation that the rest of the government seems wildly disinterested in? Well, I hope so. Or are the financial institutions who caused our mortgage crisis simply too big to jail? Let's try to find out. Let me bring in Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist and assistant business and financial editor for the New York Times, Gretchen Morgenson. She's out with a new book, Reckless Endangerment: How Outsized Ambition, Greed, and Corruption Led to Economic Armageddon. Gretchen, great to have you here tonight.
Thanks, Cenk. Thanks for having me.
All right, first, let's talk about this. There's a theory out there that it wasn't the bankers, that it was the government, that they, forced the bankers to make these risky loans to, and Republicans have literally said, to minorities and poor people. And the banks didn't want to do it. They just got forced into it. Is there any truth in that?
It's so interesting, Cenk, that there is so much blame to go around in this whole crisis. And of course, as you know, anything that could achieve trillions in losses really cannot be just a few people at the wheel here. But, really what these lenders did, as we are finding out more and more, even now, 4 years after the crisis erupted, lenders actually targeted minorities and targeted first-time home buyers, people who are unsophisticated, with some of the most poisonous mortgages that you can imagine. Mortgages that had low initial interest rates and then would explode higher. Really mortgages that were very difficult for even the most sophisticated, even higher net worth individuals to pay. So it really wasn't that it wasn't that they were forced to do it. These were very lucrative loans.
Yeah, no question about it. Of course, nobody made them make billions of dollars. But why? I think a lot of people wonder about that. They say, wait, why is making these risky loans more profitable for them?
It really is true that the more poisonous the loan, the more, let's say there's a prepayment penalty associated with it. If you're a borrower that has a little bit, maybe dicier credit, you have to pay a higher rate of interest. These are all elements that go into the profitability of a loan. And so the loans that were given to people who were maybe on the lower rungs or who had never had a home before or no credit, they really paid through the nose and the banks profited mightily.
Now, they got crushed by that, right? But there was another set of victims, because all these mortgages would then get wrapped up into these securities that then the big banks would sell off to their clients.
That's right.
But meanwhile, they were betting against their clients, weren't they? And if they were, isn't that fraud?
Well, some firms were betting against their clients, and of course they argued that it was not fraud because they disclosed that they were making bets or disclosed that they might be making bets against these very clients that they were selling these products to. Now, that is their argument. I think that what you just have to think of as an everyday person is that the kind of, investment bank that I want to buy products from, where they're actually betting against me, and I, really would have to say no. I think that those are the kinds of practices that normal, everyday people would find questionable.
So how have they been getting away with this for all this time? Because obviously the collapse happened in 2008. Finally, Eric Schneiderman is going after them, it appears, to, right now. What has the federal government been doing this whole time, and why haven't they been doing anything?
Well, I think, Cenk, that's very important to remember that the regulators who were really charged with watching over these markets in the buildup to the boom, i.e. 2003, 4, 5, 6, were really asleep at the switch, were inert, were not really doing their jobs. And so what that has ended up doing is not only did it not protect people during the boom, it also meant that there were very few facts, figures, and less data than ever to bring cases now. So it's a double failure that's really, really problematic.
And look, I think realistically, those banks give a lot of money to those politicians, and that's why a lot of people didn't want to go after them. Well, one last real quick question for you, Gretchen. Is this thing fixed at all, or is it going to blow again?
Well, you know, we did have the Dodd-Frank law that went into effect to try to, fix some of the problems, but my feeling is that it did not fix the biggest problem, which is that we have large, politically connected institutions that will not be allowed to fail.
Yeah, that is a huge, huge problem. All right, Gretchen Morgenson, author of the new book, Reckless Endangerment. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Cenk.